Hello everybody and welcome to my studio. It is exciting because today I'm going to be starting to film my new tutorial, which is going to be the Dragonfly. This is so exciting. So when we finished the owl, I already sort of drew the next card from this very beautiful, the spirit animal oracle, and it was card number 22, and it was the Dragonfly spirit with the main message of truth transcends illusion. That is beautiful. And then life happened. I had my art exhibition and so many other things that took my attention and my time and my energy. And it was a few days ago actually that I woke up and my husband said there is a dragonfly trapped in our pagoda outside. It's our little glass room, and it couldn't get out of the sort of panels because it's see-through. It can see the sky, but it's like a force field. It wouldn't allow him to go. It was a beautiful blue dragonfly. So we managed to catch it without injuring it and helping and guiding it to freedom. And that whole incident just reminded me again that it was my intention to do this dragonfly class with you guys. And since then, I've been noticing them all over. In fact, I just had a snack to eat, and while I was doing that, I was sitting outside and a beautiful orange dragonfly came to visit me. So, there's absolutely no denying it. I think the spirit guide of the dragonfly is here. It's inspiring me. And it is time for us to get into this dragonfly class, right? So I also, in the meantime, got my beautiful deck from Sondra Ushin Criddle. It's her beautiful Art from My Heart meditation and symbol inspiration deck. And even in this deck, a dragonfly announced itself, a beautiful golden dragonfly. And the message in her deck to us is all about transformation, adaptability, spiritual growth, opportunity, and change. So definitely we have a dragonfly energy in the room. So let me place my beautiful dragonfly cards all around us so that we can be inspired by their beauty. While I put this aside, let me just create a space here between all of my decks. Okay, so without any further ado, I thought that this first session will just be a very good introduction. I want us to dive into all of the information, all of the mental stuff about the dragonfly, because I think it's going to start to spark some inspiration. It will start to communicate to you the symbology of the dragonfly. You will find your own meaning in all of this. The stuff that jumps out to you, that you resonate with, that is the information that I want you to jot down in your art journal. So do get your art journal and maybe a pen or pencil as we dive into some dragonfly energy. But before we do that, I think it's always a good idea to create some sacred space, and this beautiful sandalwood candle was gifted to me. You can see I've burnt it a few times already, and I just want to get us a beautiful candle energy going here, if I can get it to light. Come now, candle. Thank you very much. Ta-da! There we go. We have a beautiful flame of enlightenment burning here. Let me just pick up my beautiful plant leaves. There you go. Fantastic. I hope you guys can also share the beautiful flame of enlightenment, truth and wisdom. And with that, we call forth the dragonfly energy and our higher self to guide us through this beautiful painting tutorial that I have planned for you guys. But I don't want to spoil all of the fun yet, so let's get into some Dragonfly spirit animal guide information. So I've got here my tablet, and I just want to open it quickly. There you go. And I'm going to share just briefly with you guys from the deck, the Spirit Animal deck. It's card number 22. Now, the number 22 already is a very powerful number. It's like 11. And you guys have probably heard that whole 11 kind of energy and messages. And really, it focuses upon manifestation, and it reminds you to be mindful of your thoughts and your vibration, because you are literally manifesting that. Now, 22 is a double up from that, so it's really, really potent energy. So we invoke the protective energy of our beautiful dragonflies, as it is one of the symbol sort of meanings of the dragonfly spirit. And I just want to quickly read her oracle message here, because I think it's really beautiful and I want to share that with you. I will also just put a link to this beautiful deck if you want to get your own, and also to Saundra's deck if you want to get your own. So, Dragonfly Spirit, truth transcends illusion. The oracle message to you today is: Dragonfly Spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. Just as a dragonfly catches your eye with its reflective wings and body, Dragonfly Spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion and recognize the insights that come seemingly out of nowhere, peeking through from behind the veil. In the realm of spirit, there is far more wisdom than you can perceive with your senses, and there is a deep knowing that you are not separate or alone. For a higher power recognizes you and loves you beyond measure. Fears dissipate as you realize that you're embraced by the nurturing force that is everywhere, always in communication with you. Alighting when you are preoccupied, Dragonfly Spirit offers this message. You exist in unity with all, including the protective spirits who share their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path of your soul needs to travel to have the experiences it craves. Love exists in many forms, and sometimes we overlook it when we don't recognize a particular form. Pay close attention to the signs now that remind you that each of us have inspired dreams seamlessly sewn into the fabric of the invisible world, and there is a great consciousness that exists in the seemingly empty spaces guiding us on our journey. Open to the truth, letting the wisdom of the hidden realms inform you, providing insights to your conscious mind. That is just beautiful. I'm not going to share all of that because there is some information in there that you can sort of delve in yourself and explore yourself. But what I have done, and I will also provide all the links to any of the information that I have here. You can explore it yourself. There is a whole library of information, and I got most of this information from the internet, from Spirit Guide. I will put the link in the description. I can't remember the exact sort of word for it. But what I do like about this wonderful person summary, I really resonate with her expansive sort of information around the spirit guides, totem animals, that kind of thing. And it's really beautiful. So the dragonfly, if you want to start making notes, and I would also, before I get into this, if you have any more information to share, any insight that you have gained or have any intuitive information, please share it with me in a comment below this video. It will also help future patrons that go through this class to discover the beautiful information that you might want to share. So any personal information or insight that you have, do share it in a comment below each of the video class sessions. That's a lot of words. So before we jump off, just a reminder that I share from my heart and from my intuition through this vessel, and this vessel deals with dyslexia, and sometimes I will explain ideas around a concept in my mind and never get to the point, so forgive me for that. That's also why I will include the link to all of this information, just in case I do that and I miss the whole point, so that you can get it yourself as well. And also, please forgive me for any grammar mistakes, tense mistakes, things like that. I am communicating in my second language, and I'm trying my best here. So please forgive me for any mistakes that I make, and sometimes my brain runs away with me and I sort of get entangled with words and things like that, and I don't always finish what I'm trying to say or clearly communicate what I'm trying to say. Right, so let's get into this amazing dragonfly energy. And I'm going to put this dragonfly right next to me and ask it for guidance as I share some highlights out of my research with you guys. So some symbolic meaning. There are some beautiful words that come up, and I'm going to just briefly go into some of these, and you can grab whatever you want from this and just jot it down in your journal. And whatever you find meaningful, whatever you find truthful, I think when we talk about truth as a subject, there is no definitive truth in the world out there. I believe there's two types of truth. There is factual truth, that is 1 + 1 = 2. It's undeniable. It's a fact, just a simple example. And then there is relative truth, and that is truth relative to you. So that will be based on your own biases, your own perspective of your life, your own life experiences, your education, upbringing, personal programming when you were young, your cultural truth. So this is where sort of paths go into different directions. And this is why I always say to people, please be mindful of your own personal truth and something that has been a revelation to you, or based on a belief system that you have, or a bias that you have, a cognitive bias. This will shift from person to person. So be very mindful to say this is the truth, because it might only be your truth. So I just want to bring clarity there. So dealing with people from a variety of walks of life, a variety of faith and belief systems, I really want to be very sensitive to everyone, but at the same time, I'm wanting to express myself freely without having to worry about judgment or condemnations or being misunderstood. So in trying not to over-explain myself, I'm going to say this up front. If you don't resonate with anything that I'm saying or something that I'm saying, please don't stop there. Just be open-minded enough to listen to the big message that is being communicated to you. Take what is valuable to you and run with that. And whatever you find you don't resonate with, just skip over it, ignore it, move beyond it. Don't let that become a hurdle to stop you or prevent you from having an amazing experience at the canvas. So if we open our minds, and this is one of the challenges that the dragonfly brings to us, is to open our mind, open our heart, and to maybe become aware of limiting beliefs and ideas that is preventing you from stepping into the life of your dreams. And I think through my research today, the overhanging big umbrella message that the dragonfly sort of brought me, if I can quickly summarize it to you, it is all about living in the present moment. Um, a dragonfly lifespan is very short, actually, just a few months, in fact. And it's reminding us that tomorrow is not promised, that you only have today, and the present moment is where life happens. And I think in our modern world, it is so easy to get distracted, to be pulled forward into the future through projection and what happens in the news, all of the things that we as humans worry about, our concerns, our worries, our fears, are all of the things that direct our consciousness towards the future. And therein lies the anxiety and the fear. And in the opposite, we can also be drawn into the past with longing what was lost, with grief, with depression, with sadness. It's about what we had and is now gone. And I think we are living in this world of ours, constantly being pulled between the past that is familiar and the future that is unknown. And the dragonfly suddenly zips in, like it tends to do, to remind you and say, hey, stop that. Ground yourself in the present moment. Make full use of this opportunity that you have right in front of you and stop procrastinating. That is its main message. And like I said, originally I planned to go straight from the owl class into the dragonfly, but life happened and I was a little bit exhausted. And I was scared for a moment there that all of my inspiration is going to leave me if I don't get into this dragonfly class as soon as possible. But I had faith that the right moment will declare itself. And just as I said, within the last few days, literally this last week, the dragonfly just reminded me by showing up almost every day that it's time. The time is right now. And I'm grabbing both, this opportunity with both of my hands. And here we are. This is our getting into our dragon energy. So let's look at two of the things that stood out for me is the elements that is represented by this beautiful symbol of resilience of the dragonfly. And that is first the water element, because the dragonfly starts its life as a water nymph and the water element. So the water element connects with our emotions and our subconscious mind. Everything that is unknown, the hidden aspect, the darker aspect of our lives. So our emotions is where a lot of our intuition and ideas, our dreams, the dream world is born. And then this water nymph transforms, it morphs. There's a big word. It's undergoing a metamorphosis. There we go. That sounds better. And then it transcends into the air element, and then it basically is able to live both above the water, in the water, and in the air. So that is beautiful. So the air element connects with our mental capacities, everything that is happening in our mind, our thoughts, our ideas, our goals, our aspirations, our hopes. And again, our dreams, and how we communicate that to the rest of the world, either through our body language, our written language, our spoken language, and our intentional language. So that is beautiful, and it's something that I want you to make note of, because I think we can work both with the water and the air element in creating the art that we will get to. And I'm literally sitting here on my blank canvas already, just absolutely infusing all of this energy into this canvas, so that when we are done, this canvas will hold the vibration of our voice, the vibration of my voice. I'm just including you all in this discussion. So in my world, you're literally sitting right here in front of me. So that's why I use the term ours or we. I tend to talk in that way. So yes, this vibration of my voice, my intention, it's literally permeating this canvas. And as we get into painting our dragonfly, all of these energies are captured almost like a record. So it in itself becomes an amulet that contains these vibrations, truths, insights, and understandings. So in the future, when you're done with your dragonfly painting, or whatever spirit animal guide painting class you do with me, every time you look at that painting, you will be instantly reminded of the work that you've done, not only in creating the painting, but also the inner work that you've done whilst you have created that art, regardless of what it looks like. So from the very beginning, I want to encourage you to get into the process, to be mindful of the process, and to open yourself up to the process, and not be so concerned about the end product. Because as we know, life is a process, hey? Okay, so let's look at some of the symbolic meanings here. I've just picked up words that is really powerful, and it has its own sort of meaning around that. So the first word in symbolic meaning for the dragonfly is that of change. Change, it announces change, it is transformational change. So, like I said, from a nymph to an airborne adult, this insect goes through an amazing metamorphosis. It is all about self-realization, awakening, and transcending. And that alone is powerful, because when we become self-aware, that is where awakening happens. And when awakening happens, when we understand something finally about ourselves, that is when we can transcend whatever limiting idea or belief or aspect was holding us back. So it literally is a metamorphosis of self as well. So this is a great journey for you to go through if you feel that you've stagnated, or that you maybe resist change. If you're constantly trying to control everything and everyone around you, that is probably a sure sign that you resist change. And here's the thing, change is the only reality that we have in life that is absolutely ensured. Let that sink in for a minute. Our world is based on change. Nothing is ever the same. Our journey through time can only be described with change. So our stability and groundedness comes in our understanding of our own truth, being vulnerable, being open to what is next, because there's always next. There's something that comes into your life, there's the current experience, and then there's the letting go. That is the constant forward momentum of life. And I think so many times, me included, I sort of look for the handbrake. I'm looking for a way to stop change. I'm looking for a way to delay change. And with that comes its own suffering, comes its own frustration, because that's not how life works. And the dragonfly is here to remind us of exactly that, that we must make every moment count and embrace the change. That is part of life. And when we open ourselves and we become a little bit more elastic in our thinking, in our attitude. That is when we're able to tap into our resilience and we are able to rise above the life's challenges and difficulties and to sort of flow and fly on the currents of change, just like a dragonfly does with its beautiful iridescent wings. Let me have a sip of coffee. So I'm curious to know what triggers inside of you when we talk about change. So do make note of that. The next word that I'm looking at here is water. Water plays a big role in the dragonfly because it starts its life in the body of water. So become aware of your emotional body. And a message that the dragonfly is bringing you here is to become aware of your emotions and maybe the growth that can happen in emotional maturity is when we learn to just allow our emotions to be. They arise and then they subside again, pretty much like clouds in the sky. The trick is not to be governed by your emotions, but to be governed with wisdom, with logic, with insight, with maturity, and to function in spite of your emotions. And I think a modern day dis-ease, I'm going to call it, is this whole idea of suppressing our emotions, eliminating our emotions, taking drugs or taking prescribed medication, using things like alcohol or drugs to subdue, to suppress, to ignore, to push away, to suppress, or even depress for that matter. I want to encourage us through mindfulness to be aware of our emotions, to acknowledge our emotions, and to just sit with it. You don't have to do anything with your emotions, but feel them, be aware of them, and then to breathe through them. That is such a powerful, powerful place to be. It's just to recognize that emotions will rise and it will fall. It is not who you are. It is just part of who you are. So water is a very powerful element there, and let's see how we can incorporate that in our process. Then the next words that's very empowering for me that I want to talk about is living in the present moment, the power of now. There is no greater time than now. So a lot of us, especially as artists, deal with procrastination. And, procrastination can be a whole mental health situation and exploration all on its own, because there are reasons why we procrastinate. And maybe you are one of those that feel that procrastinating is sort of taking over your whole life. You have the perfect intention to start a creative practice, to have a painting practice, to do this class with me, and then life happens. And I know exactly how that feels. I know what it feels like to sit on the couch flipping through TikTok as an example, but in my heart I know there's a painting on the canvas that needs attention, that wants to be finished, but somehow I'm just not able to sort of pull up the energy in order to get into that. So that is what I tell myself. But procrastination is a real thing. And coming back to that whole overhanging umbrella message of the dragonfly, it is to remind us to don't delay living your dream, because tomorrow isn't promised. And it's one of the things I sort of saw in my research. He talked about when you see a dragonfly, and we will look at the colors and the instances and so forth. But what does it mean when you see a dead dragonfly? And I found that to be quite stoic and profound, because seeing a dead dragonfly can remind you that life is fleeting, and that you're procrastinating, and that you are not engaging with your life purpose, and you're not living your dream. You are literally disengaged from it. And it's a quick reminder that the sands of time is running out of the hourglass. So if you have a dream, and I know we all have dreams and aspirations and goals and intentions, when you see a dragonfly, alive or dead, it reminds you to grab full hold of these opportunities, and there's a variety of opportunities in front of you, and not to let it go by, because it will be so sad if you suddenly come to the end of your life and you didn't live your dream. You didn't even begin to explore the joy and the hope and the fulfillment that life is offering you, because you were procrastinating and you were filling your time with ideas of fear, of not being empowered, of what is being done to you, what is being taken from you, and looking at others that seemingly look much happier than you and being envious of that. So maybe you are struggling with emotional overwhelm in this regard. Then this class is definitely for you, because the dragonfly is here to remind you to let all of that go and to grab hold of your dreams and your goals. The next words I want to talk about is strength and pose, or poise, I think is the right word. Dragonflies are very strong. Remarkably, they are able to lift 15 times their body weight. That's profound. They can quickly respond to the environment and different environments. In other words, they're very adaptable. And they are expert flyers. If you've observed a dragonfly, you will notice it can change direction, it can fly backwards, it can hover completely still in one place, and it can fly as fast as I think I saw 45 miles per hour, or 20 kilometers per hour. That's fast. That's some of the fastest insects in our beautiful world. So just plug into your own strength and draw in that adaptability to adjust to all of the different challenges and environments that you face every day. The next word I want to look at is protection. When you see a dragonfly, it reminds you that you are protected, that you are guided, and it's in many cultures being used as an amulet of protection in travel. So in days of old, they would draw it on their horses or carrots, or things like the modes of transport. So maybe you can get yourself a little dragonfly symbol of some sort, amulet, to put in your vehicle or carry with you. Maybe put it on a lucky charm, with the intention to set it there as a protective amulet while you travel. Then a very interesting sort of idea is that in many cultures, the dragonfly is considered a soul that is passed on, that is visiting you. And if you notice a dragonfly close to a death of a relative, or a partner, or anything like that, it can be a sign for you that that soul has transcended and is happy and is free. So it's a beautiful message that we see there from the dragonfly. So the next few words I want to look at is hope and infinite possibilities. Now we know that there's a universal law of infinite possibility. And this law talks about a multitude of dimensions. And in all of these spectrum of possibility, each of the possibilities is fulfilled. So, if not in this lifetime, in another dimension perhaps, there lies a pathway where your dreams and goals have already become a reality, a manifested experience. And you are able to attune yourself to the frequency of that sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, pathway, or it's almost like a string on an instrument. One of them that you hit will have a different note or key or vibration, and it's able to tune into that and then to experience it. So a dragonfly reminds you that you are not stuck between a black and white choice or life. You are a being of infinite possibility, and you are able to choose any path in front of you, and that you are surrounded with a field of infinite possibility. It's all up to you, really, in the end of the day. And then also the word hope, and it closely relates to me to that. We have a hope for our tomorrow. We have a hope for our dreams, but we need to do something about it. So hope is beautiful. It gives us something to grasp onto for tomorrow. But we must do something about it, and that power lies with you. Then I'm also looking at the word longevity. Now, even though the dragonfly doesn't have a very long lifespan, as a mature insect, it only lives for a few months. But the dragonfly has been found to be over 300 million years old as a species. It's one of the oldest insects on our planet. So talk about longevity, hey? So making sure that we live forward by living a life filled with purpose and meaning. What is the legacy that you leave behind that declares that you were present on the planet and that your life mattered and that you makes a difference? And I think we achieve that by living a life filled with our dreams, and we set goals and we achieve them, and through that journey we leave our mark on this world. We touch lives, we touch hearts, we make a difference, and we leave something behind in the hearts of everyone around us. And another way is to leave beautiful art behind. It's your sort of handprint on the cave wall. So in that you become, you live a life of longevity. It also reminds us to look at our health, to be kind to ourselves, to make sure that we eat healthy, that we live a healthy lifestyle in order to reach a happy, mature age. So there's a personal message all in here that I want to share with you, and I want to just encourage you to make some notes in your journal here. When a dragonfly enters your life, it reminds you to find the positive in every situation. It reminds you to be open-minded, to change your perspective in an instant, that's your mental capacity, in order to adapt to modern life. Call in the guidance of the dragonfly when you need a fresh perspective or when flexibility is required in order to access your resilience. So here's some questions I want to ask you. Jot them down and then take your time and answering them. And even, on your canvas, when we go through the process, we'll visit these questions again. Did your life change in a blink of an eye? Then this class is for you. Is it challenging to zig how that life is zagging? I quite like that, because the dragonfly has this zigzag kind of way of flying, and this is sort of how this question is posing to you. Are you finding it challenging because you think you're going in this direction and suddenly you're going in that direction and then in that direction? So sometimes that can be challenging, and if it is, then call on the energy of the dragonfly to help you to navigate as an excellent pilot how to zigzag. Next question. Do you need help seeing the big picture or finding truth in the underbelly of a person or situation? Do you maybe feel like you left in the dark, or you're not sure about people's intention or exactly what the outplay of a current life situation will be? Then that is also a clue for you that this class is meant for you, because we're going to explore that intuition part of the Dragonfly and see how it helps you to recognize truth, relevant truth to your life and situation, so that you can triumph over it and move forward. Right. Next word is intuition and perception. Now, again, we talked a bit about perception, but powerful vision with big eyes, we see through a trichromatic lens that combines three primary colors. Now, that's a quick jump there. We're talking here about our human eyes, and we are able to see the three primary colors of perspective, and that combined gives us the rainbow of colors, all of the 7 colors. But did you know that dragonflies can see a whole world through their lens of eyes with up to 30 colors and color blends? So they see a spectrum of color that we aren't even able to see as human beings. So talk about seeing a whole nother range of possibility, infinite possibility. And that colors is also reflected in their bodies and their iridescence of their wings. So when the light casts on it, it can sometimes look like its color is changing right in front of your eyes. So dragonflies have 10 times the ability of our human eyes in order to observe color and color nuances. So that is powerful. It is also able to see 360 degrees around themselves. So talk about awareness, right? Talk about total awareness and seeing what is going on around them. So I think this is what also empowers them to fly the way that they do, because they can see behind them, they can see in front of them, they can see below them, and they can see above them. So that is quite amazing. So they are excellent guides to call in when we need to have a higher perspective, right? When we need to notice the field of possibility around us, that there are always other choices that you could make if you just get quiet and in the present moment and notice what is available to you. So I have a question for you guys. What are you seeing or perceiving that wants to become part of your life now that you are procrastinating about? You're also welcome if you want to share with me in a comment below this video, but you don't have to. It's personal information, but do delve into that in your art journal. The dragonfly inspires you to be surprised, to be inspired with mental fantasies, and to get creative. So it's okay to sort of dream grand dreams and to be inspired, but get creative and do something about that. So it's a good exercise. I have another question for you. Are you being called to broaden your mind and consider the various shades and nuances that you might be missing? So we're going to be playing with a lot of shades and nuances in our painting in order to sort of symbolize that and to explore that in a physical, tangible way. So the next word I want to go into is grace and adaptability. Dragonflies, like I said, can fly up to 45 miles an hour. They can shift direction all over the place, and they can even stop flying in mid-flight, like literally brake. That's quite amazing. So this is all the stuff that adds to their grace and adaptability. So I want us to sort of explore that a little bit when we paint the dragonfly. They have a big love from the heart. They are sociable messengers. They are curious. Storytelling, spiritual community, transformation, and unshackle yourself from limiting ideas. These are all energies surrounding the dragonfly. You can also work with the dragonfly during the day using color magic to boost your aura, or when you are meditating for self-awareness, and when working with elements for manifesting your dream. You have two elements, both of water, air, and earth, actually, because it does rest as well. But yeah, the two main elements is that of water and air, so it can be a beautiful symbol to use in elemental magic. Great. Let's quickly move on. So I'm going to be discussing all of the colors and what they mean later. Yeah, I think I got to all of that. This is his last message here. A dragonfly provides us with mindfulness, or reminds us to be mindful when you feel overwhelmed. Call in the dragonfly spirit to help you to rise above it and to become free. We talked a bit about perspective earlier, and I think I want to bring that back in here. I think sometimes when life is overwhelming and difficult and challenging, it is difficult because we only see the limiting options and choices right in front of you. And it can sometimes feel like you're in a pit and, there's no escape. So a dragonfly can help you to rise above it by understanding through awareness that this is not the only option that is in front of you. There is a field of possibility around you. And sometimes we are stuck with our physical limitations, but that is when we need to remind ourselves of our spiritual endlessness and infinite possibility that surges from within you outward. So solutions don't necessarily always lie outside of you. It starts from within. It is all inside of you. And when you decide in here that this is not the end, this is not the limitation that you are going to be shackled with, in that instant you are free and you are able to perceive and experience or recognize more possibilities, more choices, more options that is available to you. So if you deal with anxiety and you sometimes struggle with overwhelm and you feel like you are being trapped, call in and work with the dragonfly spirit guide energy, because it will help you to feel lighter and to recognize that you are able to rise above it. And when you get to a place through awareness, meditation, stillness, and breath, and just open yourself inwardly to the possibility to rise above whatever you're dealing with in your life right now, the dragonfly can carry you high so that you can look down and see a bigger picture. And sometimes when we recognize the bigger picture and we can see the landscape of our entire sort of life up until this point and going forward, that is where we're able to recognize different choices, different options, different directions that you can go in with your life. And suddenly the things down here that you felt was clamping you down, smothering you, overwhelming you, shackling you, is not as important, or it is not as powerful, because you are taking your power back, you're claiming your power back. So looking at petty things like other people's opinions or situations that you have no control or influence over whatsoever. Just as an example, looking at the political arena around us, looking at the world choices, war, and all kinds of really heavy energies that is currently surfacing, that wants to be transformed, that wants to be healed, and wants to be set free. The only way that we can sometimes break free from doom scrolling or from being overwhelmed or feeling hopeless about the future is by taking hold of something like the dragonfly, rise above it, get a different, higher perspective of your life and how it is interconnected to everything else. And that sometimes is all that is required in order to shift an attitude, to shift a perspective, to become aware of a bias that is preventing you from breaking free, breaking through, and then taking the steps that is necessary in order to manifest the life of your dreams. I hope that is helpful and that you found this inspiring. So do take a moment in your art journal, look at these questions and explore them a little bit. And maybe just doodle for now a little bit of a dragonfly for yourself. And in that little Zentangle or doodle, just find the parameters, the shape, the form of the dragonfly in its simplicity. And I want to thank Sondra here for giving us a very nice, easy symbol as far as the dragonfly. Maybe just squiggle that in your art journal and call in the dragonfly spirit guide energy for you as we get into this amazing painting class. So in our next episode, I will look at all of the art requirements that you will need. We're going to be working mostly in acrylic paint, but who knows what the dragonfly will bring for us. And I do want to remind you to just get your reference material. I will include my link tree beneath here. When you click on my link tree, you will find all of the reference material images are there. So you can click on the image, which goes to my website. That's where I store it, and you are able to download it and print it out for yourself. I'm also going to create an outline for you guys. For those of you that don't want to deal with all of the complexities of the image that I'm going to be working with, if you really just want a basic outline in order to plot it on your canvas to make life easier for you, that will all be found there. So I'll see you in the next episode when we start to get into our art supplies, what we will need, and how to get that image on our canvas. So I'll see you real soon. Bye bye for now.